Hey-o, folks. Yeah. Shane Kendall died in Fulton County Jail because Prosecutor Love, also known from the Young Thug Rico trial, lied in the competency hearing. Mr. Shane Kendall should have been placed at a mental facility because, and we will go through why. Hello, Mr. Jingles. Hello. Hey. No. Come here. Come here. Hello, Mr. Jingles. Yeah, he really likes when I do this. Look how happy Mr. Jingles is. Yeah, he really enjoys this. Yeah. And if you wonder about the thumbnail, yeah, it is my one and only grift on the Nick thing. Because with him not home, I am the remaining Nick of Lawtube. Now, I said yesterday I would not grift on it. So that is my one thing. And then I will not talk about his case. There are other channels. Oh, jeez. Ow. Other channels covering that. I don't need to. So where were we? Yeah, Shane Kendall. And today we will go through how I know Prosecutor Love lied to the in the competency hearing. Ladies and gentlemen, I will bring receipts. Okay? Welcome to the show. Let's have that up there. All right. Or that will be in the way. Darn it. Let's have that up there. Darn it. There. Okay. This, we will really start at the beginning here. This is Shane Kendall's birth certificate. Born Shane Milich, or Milich. Mother, white, descending from Yugoslavia. Education, 1 year cosmology. That's not important. Special characteristics. Substance abuse, manic depression history. Father, unknown. Nothing known. Maternal aunts, uncles, unknown. Siblings, none. And so it goes on. And so it goes on. Unknown, unknown, unknown. labor, every paper needed, patient name, Sasha Milic, homeless. So you might get to see this kid wasn't born with the best of circumstances. And toxicology profile. Cocaine, meth, positive. Shane Kendall was born with a meth addiction. He's a meth baby. So, again, you see where I actually say we are really starting from the beginning. So, Shane Kendall, father unknown, mother homeless, meth addict. He was born meth baby. Now, let's move on to, let's get this bigger. Again, this is Liljon Consulting and Psychological Services. Name, Shane Milic. Date of birth. Age of evaluation, 9 days. Reason for referral and background information. Shane was referred for a developmental evaluation by Fulton County DFACS. He is noted to be in the foster care of Mr. and Mrs. Joe Kendall. Shane has been placed in foster care for approximately 24 hours and was placed due to testing positive for cocaine at birth. Shane's biological mother is reported to be 39, homeless, and is reported to have used illegal substances throughout her pregnancy. But Shane was noted to have eaten and slept well since initiation of foster care last night. Foster parents indicate no significant crying spells. Shane was intermittently awake and drowsy during the evaluation period. He presented with these measurements. So, Mr. and Mrs. Joe Kendall, foster parents, took him in, this meth baby. And good for him that he got them at the time as foster parents. Things will change. Things will change. And at this time, at 9 days old, nothing out of the ordinary. Let's move on. Lanford Group, age 63 months. Reason for referral. Shane was referred for an occupational therapy evaluation due to concerns from the family and daycare teachers with his fine motor and self-help skills. The following is a functional description of his strengths and needs. Shane is a 63-month-old male who lives at home with his parents. Well, his foster family who will become his adoptive parents. He attends the Sheltering Arms Daycare Center in East Point, Georgia for summer daycare. Shane just completed preschool in the public school system. He transitioned well both to and from his classroom to the evaluation room at his daycare. Shane is able to communicate verbally quite well and follows directions without difficulty. He exhibited cooperative behavior during the evaluation. Shane's classroom teachers, Miss Smith and Miss Collis, provided valuable information regarding his current skills and needs. His father, Joe, also expressed his concern and skill levels during a pleasant phone conversation the week before this evaluation. Methods and procedures, Adaptive skills. Shane is able to look at and touch pictures in books with names. He demonstrates fair task attention skills for his age, both during activities and small group learning activities. He's able to feed himself independently using utensils and can drink from an open cup. Shane is able to understand the difference between food and non-food substances. Then motor skills. Shane is able to walk, run, and climb on playground equipment. He can kick a ball at least 5 feet without purposeful direction. He's able to throw a ball at least 3 feet, though not yet with purposeful direction. And it goes on and on. At this moment in time, the parents and the daycare personnel are worried. They are worried. But in this, according to the evaluation, not much to worry about. But Lara Adams, occupational therapist, says, due to above scores and my professional opinion, I feel that Shane qualifies for occupational therapy services. I recommend 60 minutes twice a month to address concern in these areas of his development. And short-time goals, long-time goals. So there are some worries at a 63 months. What is that? 24 is 2 years, 48 is 4 years, so he is 5 years and some. Then we go on to 2010. He is now 8 years and 3 months. Legal guardian name and address: Harold Kendall and Dominica Rodriguez. Harold is the actual name of Joe, just so you know. Referral source: primary physician, team members. Reason for referral: Shane Kendall is an 8-year, 3-month-old boy who was referred to the FAS clinic for diagnostic assessment and treatment recommendations due to concerns that he may have fetal alcohol syndrome or a diagnosis associated with prenatal exposure to substances. This was his first visit to the FSA clinic. And here's the thing, I've skipped over a bunch of papers here just to give you a timeline of events to show you the issues Mr. Shane Kendall had since birth. According to Shane's adoptive father, Mr. Harold Kendall, also known as Joe, Shane is suspected to have been prenatally exposed to alcohol. Birth records do not indicate prenatal exposure to alcohol, but do indicate prenatal exposure to cigarettes and cocaine. And we know about the cocaine because that was in his birth certificate or in his birth record that he tested positive for it. Yeah, it says here, Shane tested positive for the latter at birth. And Shane was placed in temporary custody with Mr. Kendall and Mr. Rodriguez, previously Mrs. Kendall. Sadly, at this point in time, Joe and Mr. Rodriguez have separated. Mr. Kendall and Mr. Rodriguez separated in June 2007 and are in the process of getting divorced. Currently, Shane's parents share physical custody. Shane resides with his mother during the first half of the week and with his father during the second half of the week, alternating. Shane's father has custody over health-related decisions. Shane reportedly has had difficulty adjusting to his parents' separation, and he and his parents previously engaged in family therapy together. According to the child life history and Mr. Kendall, Shane has a positive family history for mental health problems. That means that in Shane Kendall's biological family with his mother has a clear history of mental health issues. We saw that also in the birth record earlier. Shane was described as imaginative, creative, smart, inquisitive, and generous child who has a good sense of humor. Notwithstanding these strengths, Shane reportedly exhibits a number of social, behavior, and emotional difficulties. Shane was reported to show disruptive and defiant behavior both in the home and school setting. He reportedly has difficulty concentrating and sitting still, and he regularly seeks out physical stimulation. Shane's parents reported that he may refuse to complete schoolwork and homework consequent to difficulty tolerating frustration. Shane reportedly is especially averse to completing tasks which require writing due to graphomotor weaknesses, with motor skills in the hands, fingers, or something of the sort. Shane reportedly also occasionally has tantrums and sometimes appears sad or depressed. As noted above, Shane has had some difficulty adjusting to his parents' separation. And in July 2008, he was diagnosed with adjustment disorder with mixed disturbance of emotions and conduct. That would be ADHD or something of the sort within that spectrum. Shane's emotional and behavioral difficulties became particularly prominent during the transitions from his father's to his mother's care. They had to switch there because of typo. Shane was described as having social difficulties, reportedly has few friends. He exhibits limited social skills and some unusual social behaviors, including poor recognition of personal space and boundaries and difficulty engaging in reciprocal interactions. At school, Shane reportedly makes loud or bothersome noises which distract his peers. Sudden vocal outbursts. Finally, it was reported that Shane sometimes becomes excessively and exclusively focused or perseverative on unusual interests or topics. For example, he reportedly is exceptionally attracted to soft hair and will touch the hair of strangers, including children, if it appears soft to him. Sorry. Yeah, I'm okay. It's just I have a yes, I am okay. I'm okay. Shane attends schools. He attended family therapy. Previous evaluation. He was previously evaluated in January of 2006 as 4 years old. We already read that. Throughout all these assessments, difficulties with cooperation, motivation, and attention were observed. During the two most recent evaluations, Shane also showed significant variability in his cognitive abilities and skills across and within various domains of functioning, with his scores falling from the very low range to the average ranges across a range of tests. In 2008, at the Wechsler Intellectual Scales for Children, 4th edition, Shane's verbal ability was tested in the low average range. His processing speed was tested in the very low range. His perceptual reasoning was tested in the low range, and his working memory was tested in the average range. Shane showed significant variability within each of these domains, however, and showed very significant variability within his perceptual reasoning index. Shane's graphomotor skills, using the test of visual motor interaction, were tested in the low average range. According to his 2008 evaluation, Shane's scores on the wide range achievement test, blah, 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 very low to average range, with scores to very low range on spelling, low average range on word reading, low range on sentence comprehension, and average range on math comprehension. Now we are getting into what later is deemed as autism. And yeah, reading this, it becomes very, very clear. Tammy says, makes me wonder why he wasn't tested for Tourette's. I will go into that in a bit. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Sorry for that. Somehow on my laptop, something started playing. Ghost. Ooh. Stop scratching me, Mr. Jingles. I'm okay. I can scratch you back for a bit until you bite me. Now, where were we? Yeah, nursing, physical. Yeah, and this is genetics assessment, past medical history. Shane was born at 37 weeks. And yeah, during at least the first month of her pregnancy, Shane's biological mother was incarcerated and received some prenatal care. Birth records indicate that she did not receive adequate prenatal care throughout her pregnancy, however, and was homeless at the time of Shane's birth. She reportedly fell on and bruised her abdomen during the first month of pregnancy, according to a medical record dated November 29, 2010. Birth records also indicate prenatal exposure to cocaine and tobacco. Shane was reported to achieve motor milestones within expected windows, but he exhibited delayed speech and he currently shows graphomotor weaknesses. Shane's father reported that Shane exhibits difficulty tracking words while reading. Mr. Kendall indicates that he planned to take Shane to a pediatric ophthalmologist in Decatur. And the tests goes on. And this, by the way, is the Marcus Autism Center. So this is the autism test. Behavioral. He was able to maintain this engagement. Let's see here. During the evaluation, Shane showed variability in his cooperation, motivation, interest, effort, focus, and pacing. Although he sometimes appeared adequately engaged in testing, he was able to maintain this engagement for only brief periods. He often tended to refuse to complete tasks, stating, "I quit, I can't, or I won't." Shane also repeatedly made unusual noises, including clenching and grinding his teeth to make squeaking sounds, sucking on his arm, and clucking and whistling. He often looked directly at the examiner while performing these actions, as if looking for her response. Shane repeatedly stated, "I can't control it," after or while engaging in many of these and other off-task behaviors. On several occasions, Shane left his seat and approached the door to the room, stating he was done with the testing. However, Shane did not ever leave the testing room. Shane also lay on the floor while refusing to complete items. Although Shane exhibited a variety of off-task behaviors, he did not engage in or threaten physical or verbal aggression at any point. And then down to the cognitive intellectual. The general conceptual ability score reflects a child's overall level of cognitive functioning and incorporates the verbal, nonverbal, and spatial summary scores. Shane achieved a score of 77. This score is in the 6th percentile and is in the low range. Verbal ability, percentile rank, always in low. Lower than average or average. Same here. Median is 50. He only achieved that once with word definitions, and the rest lower or much lower. And so it goes on and on and on. Shane's teacher at Conley Hills Elementary School completed the TRF. According to her ratings, Shane's behavior falls in the clinically significant range on the total problems, externalizing problems, and internalizing problem scales. Specifically, Shane was rated as exhibiting clinically significant level of attention problems, thought problems, aggressive behaviors, and social problem scales, and in the borderline significant range on the rule breaking, withdrawn depressed, anxious depressed, and somatic complaints scales. Shane's teacher also indicates that Shane engaged in behavior such as making statements that others should control the volume of his voice. He hides his work in his desk, underachieving and making insufficient effort, and that a voice tells him to act on his impulses, touching other children. This is the first time there are indications that Shane might have schizophrenia. This is the first indication of that. That is later on confirmed. So remember, this is Shane at age, let's see, 8. And he already have all these issues, including the first signs of schizophrenia. Later on confirmed. And then it recommendations from this Marcus Center. It's recommended that Shane meet with an ophthalmologist in order to assess his vision. This is very important in order to rule out the possibility that problems with graphomotor skills and problems with the visual tracking problems are related to a problem with Shane's eyes. It's recommended that Shane receive a consultation from Dr. Sanders at the Marcus Autism Center to evaluate whether Shane might benefit from medication. It's recommended that Mr. Kendall and Ms. Rodriguez request an individualized education program. And on and on. Lots of recommendation to aid Shane Kendall in his day-to-day. Here it says on the 10. Given the level and range of emotional, behavior, and social problems which Shane is displaying and their impact on his daily functioning, it is recommended that Shane participate in therapy to increase his ability to regulate arousal and regulate and effectively express emotion, and in order to help him learn skill for tolerating distress and frustration and making and maintaining friendships, and so on. And he is referred to an Emory outpatient clinic. This is Shane at age 8. Over at Rumble, yeah, Nick Requeda will be disappointed if I refuse to grift. But this is my one grift. I'm currently the only Nick remaining on Lawtube. Now, let's move on to the final paper I want to talk to you about. This is from 2012. Shane is now 10. Shane was referred for a triennial reevaluation to access his current cognitive, academic, emotional, behavior, and social functioning to determine his continued need for special education services and to assist in planning for his educational needs. Shane has a current eligibility for a significant developmental delay, SDD, in the areas of cognitive and social emotional development. You start to see the red thread I'm going for here. Throughout Shane's life, there has been diagnosis after diagnosis after diagnosis of his issues. From birth. And yeah. Let's see here. Academic functioning. Subtest, standard score, average, below average, below average. Average, and here written expression, lower extreme. Written language, lower extreme. So it varies between lower extreme and average. also very, it is in part his, by this time, his autism. So we already know at age 10, he has autism. And we all also, yes, GD, all this info was easily accessible to Fulton. This, what I'm reading now is discovery papers. All of this was submitted to Fulton County District Attorney's Office in preparation for the competency hearing. All of this, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 papers or documents I'm reading from now, I have access to just about 70 documents that was handed over to the prosecution before the competency hearing. Sorry, I have to make this a bit bigger. There. Here it is. Self-ending and a plan as well as present as past history of self-harm were denied as was homicidal ideation. This is important because of what happens later. Visual and auditory hallucinations were denied as well. Orally denied, but we already have the first reports from 8 years old. And I believe at age 12 or 13, it was concluded. And as you see here, teacher T-score, parent T-score, they make all these tests. Shane's ratings of his emotional states, his self-regard, interpersonal relations, and personal satisfaction and attitude towards school and learning are all rated in the average range, indicating attitudes, feelings, and behaviors as being typical for the age. Elevations are demonstrated in the at-risk range of the hyperactivity scale and on the inattention hyperactivity composite scale. Shane's self-ratings are consonant with his reports and responses about himself. Conclusion and recommendations. Shane was referred to a re-evaluator to assess his cognitive, academic, emotional, behavioral, and social functioning. He currently has a significant developmental delay, eligibility for academic and emotional behavioral concerns. So he gets the special ed. So he's been given at this time, yes, he has these issues. And it goes on and on. Oh, geez. It goes on and on like this. Then at age 12 and 13, he is already concluded as autism. He, as the years go by, from between ages 10 to 15, his schizophrenia is concluded. His ADHD also concluded. All stems back to his birth mother's confirmed mental health history, and that he was born a meth baby and probably was injured during the pregnancy. At age 15, for you who don't know, Joe, his adoptive father, and Miss Rodriguez, his adoptive mother, they have split for several years. Miss Rodriguez gets a new boyfriend. Miss Rodriguez starts, and haven't done for a number of years, she stopped caring for Shane. Joe tried to get sole custody, was never able to achieve that. Shane, in his visits to his adoptive mother's home, his father, when he came back, all sorts of issues. She didn't monitor his medication. She didn't monitor him. Filthy house. Her boyfriend left guns out in the open, loaded guns out in the open, and at age 15, this autistic boy with confirmed schizophrenia, visual hallucinations, picked up a gun and shot his adoptive mother. Every test, every evaluation shows he had no idea what he was doing. He just had no idea. The interviews, the same. He had no idea what he was doing. In comes, and the first prosecutor who handled the case agreed to have him at the mental health clinic. Then comes Prosecutor Love and orders a competency hearing. She stands in front of the jury towards this competency hearing and claims that Shane, his father, faked everything. Including, but was proved otherwise, even him born as a meth baby. That jury, first of all, jury at a competency hearing is probably one of the most stupid things I've ever heard regarding the American justice system. When it comes to mental health competency, how on God's green earth can you expect an average person to make a decision about that? There, you have to rely on the professionals, in my opinion. The first competency hearing was a hung jury, and that should have been the end of it. He should have been sent back to the mental health facility. She had a new competency hearing, and she learned from the first, and she won. So at age 18, after 3 years in a mental health facility, Shane Kendall was brought to Fulton County Jail, where he was held most of the between. First, he was separated from the Gen Pop, but then the local jail psychologist said, "No, he's fine. Let's put this kid in Gen Pop." And less than a year after he was put in Fulton County Jail, Shane Kendall attempts self-ending. The guards found him, called for the medical personnel. The medical personnel chose to respond, even though it's more or less less than a 1 minute run. The first one took 6 minutes to get there. She refused to give CPR because she had a bad knee. After another few minutes, the other medical personnel shows up, starts doing CPR until the guards say, "You don't know how to do CPR." Remember, this person, these two, were hired as medical personnel at Fulton County Jail. One refused to give CPR. The other one couldn't give CPR. He couldn't even handle the thingamajiggy, the electric thingy. No. So Shane Kendall, his self-ending attempt, due to absolute incompetence from, goes to the AED device. Due to pure incompetence, passed away. There is a wrongful death suit. I've been covering this last week on my channel. I believe that will be successful. Sadly, Prosecutor Love is immune. But in my personal opinion, the main reason Shane Kendall is gone is because soulless, heartless, empty Adrian Love chose Shane to be her victim. He could have been placed on a mental facility until he was approved, which he would never be. Autism, visual hallucination, schizophrenia, ADHD. He would never have gotten out of that mental health facility. But Adrian Love wanted another pin of a successful prosecution. And she somewhat succeeded. After Shane's death, the case was deemed technically solved, and she got her win. Now, I hoped that my small grift would gain a little more people than it had today, but you never know. The thumbnail I will exchange for a new one, and because this stream is not about Nick Rekieta, it's about Shane Kendall and bringing attention to his wrongful death suit. I will make a new update next week about this, because now you know the history up until the event. Next week, I will cover the event itself. So that is what I have for you all to, well, at least for now. I will grab a bite to eat, and I will be back in an hour for a What the Hales stream, because there is an update on the What the Hales situation, which I really, really want to give to you. So I will see you back here in about an hour. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for allowing me to do this. And hug your family. Unless your family is crap, then screw them and give your love to the people who deserve it. Okay? I'll see you later today. Bye-bye.
Justice was all my rights. In the name of honor, we'll make things right. No more secrets hidden in the dark. name of trust